Okay, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim. Fil alameen, innaka hamidun majid. Inshallah ta'ala, we have our important class tonight, Riyadus Salihin, and a very important topic, which is still al-Ghaybah, major sin, talking about people in their absence in the way that they don't like. So this is a big deal, and we have to be very careful with it because, as we mentioned, the Ghaybah, backbiting, is a dangerous major sin because you can do it without even knowing. And like I said, some professions where people have a lot of time to talk, like in my country, barbers, for example. Barbers get a lot of those things done, those ghaybah, because they're cutting your hair. You are sitting there, not doing anything, and they want to just spend some time with entertainment. They start talking about somebody else. So
Is the Ghaybah the same as a Nameemah?
no, Nameemah is different. The difference, a good question. Ghaybah is when I talk about a person in their absence in a bad way, behind their back, in their absence in a bad way, or in the way that they don't like. That's Ghaybah. Nameemah, when I go around on purpose, taking, delivering news, or taking, what do you call it? False statement, or even true statement, or the purpose of starting problems between people. So Ghaybah normally Ghaybah is for entertainment, for fun. People just talk about a person for fun. Nameemah is more like a plan. It's a plot. Okay. I want to ruin your reputation. So I go to person A and I say, this person, you know what they did? And then I go to person B and I do the same, and I go to person C. On purpose, I want to ruin your reputation. That's Nameemah is worse.
Yeah.
I thought Nameemah ruining people's relationships.
Yeah, you break people's relationships too. That's Nameemah too. Ghaybah is more like for fun. It's just because we have nothing else to do. We just start talking about somebody else when they're not there. That's Ghaybah. Nameemah, I am trying to start problem on purpose between people, or like I said, to ruin somebody's reputation.
Yeah.
So we are in Riyadus Salihin, hadith number, alhamdulillah, my tablet is working now. So we are in the chapter 256, the exceptions of Ghaybah. When can we do Ghaybah? So the definition of Ghaybah, as we mentioned, is to talk about your brother, or of course your sister, in their absence, they're not there, in a way they don't like. And it doesn't have to be a negative trait. It can be a positive trait. Somebody, for example, is tall. And tall is viewed as by most people to be a good thing. To be tall is not a bad thing. But let's say that person does not like people to talk about him that he's tall. So if he's not there and we say he's tall, then that is Ghaybah. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. It can be a positive thing, or viewed as positive thing by most people. If I know that he doesn't like it, then that is Ghaybah. That's basically it. What are the situations when the Ghaybah is allowed? This is this chapter talking about Babu Bayani ma yubahu min al-Ghaybah, or Gheebah. Again, like I said, both are okay. Gheebah or Ghaybah, both are acceptable. There are 6 situations where you can break that rule. You can say something bad about somebody else in their absence. And they are good to know. Because sometimes you think, I don't want to be involved in this Gheebah or Ghaybah. I don't want to be, so you remain quiet. Sometimes you should not be quiet. You have to speak. But number 1 is oppression. Oppression. Somebody oppressed you, somebody took you right. Then it is fine for you to go to the judge or to the person of authority and complain. That is fine. You can say person so-and-so took my right. Of course, you have to be specific. Don't mention other things that are not related. Somebody took your right, you don't have to say he's short or fat. It has nothing to do with your right. Yeah, and you just mention things that are related to the case. Do not mention things that do not matter. That is allowed when you are complaining about somebody who took your right. But we said before, it's always best to approach that person directly. Go to the person, maybe they didn't do it on purpose. Maybe they have a reason. So always try to approach the person directly and tell them, you have done this, you took my right, you hurt my feelings, you did this, you did that. He might apologize and that will, or give you back your right. If possible, that can solve the problem. But if that doesn't work, you can go complain to people of authority, and that is not called Ghaybah. This is not, it is allowed, inshallah. Number two, so number one, oppression. Number two, trying to stop somebody from doing something haram. What does that mean? So let's say I know somebody is going to go drink alcohol. I know for sure this person is going to go to the nightclub and drink alcohol after Isha. He'll pray Isha and then go. I don't know how is that going to happen, but let's just some strange example. If you know somebody who is going to disobey Allah, do something wrong, you try to stop them. You could not stop them by yourself. You can go get help to stop them. So let's say, well, Brother Suhail today is our volunteer. Brother Suhail comes to me and he says, you know what, after Isha tonight, I'm going to go to the nightclub. So I tell him, no, don't go. It's not a good thing. He said, no, you cannot stop me. So I go to Brother Mujib, and I say to Brother Mujib, please, let's go kidnap Brother Suhail after Isha. We'll put him in your truck until the morning, so he will not go. So that is not Gheebah. That is allowed to get help to stop somebody from doing something bad. That's not Gheebah. Because again, that somebody will thank you on the day of judgment. And one big imam, he says really a beautiful statement. He says, I forgot his name, I think it's Al-Hasan al-Basri. He said, if you see your brother committing a major sin and you smile in his face, then you have betrayed him. That's a very powerful statement. You see your brother committing a major sin and you see him and then you smile in his face, then you are not his friend, you're not his brother. That means you have to be serious with him, try to stop him from this major sin. You cannot even smile at them when they do that. So it is important. So this is the second situation when Gheebah is allowed. Somebody is doing something haram. I tried to stop them by myself. I couldn't. So getting help to stop them is allowed. Number three is to go to the imam for help. I don't know why I don't like this one, but I can't change the rules. So for example, let's say, and this happens, a wife calls me on the phone and she starts talking about her husband. Of course, she's not going to be praising her husband. My husband loves me and I love him so much, otherwise they wouldn't call me. Normally, when the wife calls, it's because there is a problem. Or the husband calls and he starts talking about his wife. Now, this is allowed because the reason why they are calling me is not because they want to backbite about the other person. It's because they want to find a solution, or they want to ask a fatwa. Is it haram to do this? Is it halal to do this? Are we still considered like this guy who came and he told me I divorced my wife 13 times? Are we still married? I don't know, 13 times only? MashaAllah. Why only 13 times? Maybe you need 13 more times or something. So the thing is, when you are trying to find a solution, but of course, again, you have to mention only things that are related to the problem, and your intention is not to hurt the other person. Your intention is to find a solution or to ask a religious question. Is this haram? Is this halal? I need help. Maybe we can do some counseling. Maybe we can try to mend the relationship. So in these situations, backbiting is allowed. So, and again, you are calling a third party who is not involved. It's not like you're calling your let's say your uncle and telling him about your wife, or you're calling your cousin, somebody who is not involved. I really don't care about, what is happening, or if you insult your wife or your wife insults you in your absence. I just want to try to mend the relationship because I am a third party normally. So asking fatwa or seeking a solution to any problem is not considered backbiting, inshallah. Okay. Number four. Number four is to give a warning about a general danger. Like what? Like, for example, this happened in the past, and this is very important. There was a time when people started making up hadith, fabricating hadith, saying Prophet Muhammad ﷺ say this and he didn't say that. So if I know this person is a liar, I should go and tell the community, don't listen to this person. He's a liar. He's making up hadith. This is not backbiting, or it is allowed. So you are warning the community, warning public from some danger, something that is dangerous. Another example about this one, marriage situations. As we mentioned, somebody wants to marry somebody else, and you know the family, and they ask you for advice. You should be honest. You should not say, I'm not going to backbite, I'm not going to mention this, I'm not going to mention that because of the backbiting. You have to be honest, and because again, you can solve a lot of problems. When is backbiting allowed? When I see you going to a teacher and I know this teacher is not a good teacher. What does that mean? So let's say you are going to an imam or a teacher or so-called alim or whatever it is, and you're learning your religion from them. And I know for sure, not doubtfully, I am sure that this person, his knowledge is wrong, and he's teaching you religion wrong. Then I should give you a warning about this person. Don't go to that person for knowledge. So that is not backbiting, because again, it's not a personal problem I have with this guy. It's just I am warning you because religion is an important thing. Do not learn it from the wrong person. So that is allowed in Islam. The next one, when you are talking about a person in charge and they are not doing their job right. So let's say somebody in authority, somebody who is in charge of a company, in charge of a school, in charge of a country. So people are saying this person is not doing his job right. That's not backbiting if they are trying to find a solution. If they're trying to find a solution, not for fun, of course. Like people sit down and they start talking about the president and politics, and for fun, that doesn't change anything. But if let's say about voting, there are some candidates, some of them are better than others, then that is fine. It's not backbiting to tell people, vote for this person, don't vote for that person, this person is better than this person, and so on. That is not backbiting. Okay, if you backbite about someone and ask him to forgive you, do you have to tell them what you said about them? Or when can just so forgive, like, forgive me, like sometimes when Ramadan and Eid, that's Eid or Iyad comes, oh, Eid, come, we always say forgive me to people. Are they still talking your, well, the thing is, if I say something bad about you in your absence, I backbite about you, and then I feel bad about it, and I go to you and say, the other day I made a mistake and I said something about you I shouldn't have said. Can you forgive me? If the person asks, tell me what you said, then you have to tell them what you said. If you think this is going to make it worse, like the person is going to get really upset, then tell them, please forgive me. Try to, not to say it to them, just get their forgiveness. If they forgive you, then inshallah, no problem, all is good. But they have to forgive you from their hearts. And that's why not to backbite is much better than backbite and then ask people for forgiveness. The best way, actually, if you want to do it right, you have to tell them what you said. I said this about you the other day, and I am sorry, please forgive me. So that is the best way. But if you know that's going to cause a problem, the person is going to get really upset, maybe you don't tell them what you said and say, I promise I'm not going to say it again, please forgive me. And then give them a chicken sandwich, maybe they will forgive you. Inshallah.